Hi, it's Audrey June, and I'm here with you today after a couple of days of resting and cleansing and purification. I don't know about y'all, but now has been a super intense time as far as addressing distortions, projections, misperceptions, and just stepping out of denial. So, the first question that I want to look at today is kind of to get some insight into this process, this purification process, because I feel like July is kind of, we're powering up as far as the collective is concerned. We're delving deep into ourselves, unpacking our ego stories, unpacking just these negative images we have, negative stories within ourselves. So I'm going to pull from the Dreamtime Oracle and just ask the question, what should we be focusing on in this purgation process, right? Yeah. Spirit, give us a theme, give us a message as far as what we should be cleansing and purifying from our system in this time of spiritual warfare. Okay, we have two that jumped out. So our first card here is Soulful Burdens, right? Soulful Burdens. So to me, this card is really signifying those things, those ancestral patterns, those traumas, those things we came into this lifetime to learn and to unpack. So yeah, I'm gonna look in the book and tell our story as far as Soulful Burdens is concerned. Many thousands of years ago, the cockatoo did not have wings. He was so noisy, he would squawk and cry and carry on all day and all night. All the animals would ask him to be quiet, but no, he would just keep on going, on and on and on. This was becoming distressing for the other animals, as they couldn't sleep at night because of his noise, and couldn't hunt during the day because he scared off all the animals. One of the animals came up with a plan. They all gathered around the noisy cockatoo and gave him a set of wings. Immediately, he took off in flight, and as he took to the sky, the other animals sighed with relief. They realized that his insistent squawking was because he was bored and frustrated and never being able to see the world. From this point onwards, all the cockatoos got wings and lived their lives flying the skies and only squawking now and then in celebration of their freedom. So, the way I see this is that we need to stop limiting our own potential, right? So, think about patterns, think about things that continue to happen to us, right? Like, if we continue to be reliving the same sort of situations, it's because we haven't learned that lesson, right? If we continue to complain about something, it's because it's holding us back. So really, what this card is telling us is that we need to look, we need to observe, we need to reflect, and we need to move past those things that continually are coming up, right? So it says right here, everything seems to be spiraling out of control, and the harder you try to take back some control, the worse things become, and the less control you have. The truth is, you're trying to control the wrong things, right? So think about somebody who is always telling you how to exist, right? Who's always telling you something about themselves. A lot of the time, the reason people do that, they try to control you, is because they can't control themselves, right? So this card is telling us that kind of try to take a different perspective on things, right? Take stock of the situation, choose your battles more carefully. Don't worry about the things that are A, out of your control, and B, really aren't that significant anyway, right? I know that for me, sometimes I get into a situation where I'm continually bickering about something that's not really the root of the issue, right? So this card is telling us that we need to look deeper into our own patterns and kind of figure out what is it that we're actually upset about, right? The second card I got was Spirit Connection, and this one kind of jumped out. So the way I see this card is we have orbs, we have energy, we have it moving around, right? This is the connection to the Great Spirit. So during this purification, this cleansing, it's basically saying that this cleansing process, this purification process that we're going through, right? Releasing these soulful burdens, unlimiting our own potential, re-envisioning our life to make it align to our own perspective, like our actual soul purpose, our actual destiny, is going to get us closer to spirit, right? High in the mountains, droplets of water fall from the morning dew of the trees and meet together to begin to form a trickle. The trickle travels downstream and is joined by more trickles, slowly forming a creek. As the creek meanders its way through the mountains, it gains momentum, and high on the edge of the valley, it flows over the waterfall and lands in the valley below, right? So if we think about water, water moves and water adapts and water basically flows with its environment, right? Spirit's the same way. If we think about our higher self is constantly coming to us in messages, right? It's mirroring us. It's talking to us through numbers. It's talking to us through animals. It's talking to us through that voice inside of our head, those feelings within our gut. So it's our job to stop trying to control things and to kind of let things flow through our life. Let go of those, like with the purification cleansing process, let go of those things that keep trying to leave us, and let our spirit itself gain momentum. In the valley, the water makes its way out of the turbulent foam and froth and drifts into a settling pool below. Here it rests for a moment before the water begins a new journey towards the valley floor where it meets another river. The two small rivers gently join in creating a water that is made up of many individual droplets of water. This new creation will sustain great numbers of people, animals, and plants, and becomes the sustenance and spirit of man, giving life to our souls and replenishing the spirit of all mankind, right? So this card again is also talking about coming together with our true soul connections, our true soul companions. So in this time of purification, we definitely want to take time alone, but we also want to make sure that those messages that come to us that are for other people, that we are speaking those messages clearly, and that we are connecting in an authentic way to our soul family, our soul comrades, right? So because we are stronger together, this process of mirroring, that's part of cleansing, that's part of life, that brings us to a greater understanding of ourselves. So just keeping that in mind, like letting people flow into our life that are supposed to be there, and letting people flow out of our life that are not supposed to be there, right? So now I want to ask the question, how can we better prepare for this spiritual warfare that's going on? Because a lot of things are popping up in the collective, like a lot of entities, a lot of just a lot of issues, a lot of combatants that are not from this world that we can't even see, but we can feel their presence. So what does spirit have to tell us? How can we better prepare for this spiritual warfare and keep ourselves grounded in our, not grounded, well, maybe grounded in our high frequencies, right? How do we maintain our frequencies when combating these things? So make it clear. What are some things? How do we prepare for spiritual warfare? Right? So we have the warrior card, right? Warrior, as you can see, the warrior, he is surrounded by darkness. So those of you who have incarnated in this life, who have struggled the most, your souls chose that intentionally, right? So remembering, the warrior is guidance to tell us to remember that we are always warriors, to remember to stay vigilant, to be observant, to maintain our light, not to get lost in the darkness, not to get lost in the chaos. In those moments where we feel particularly vulnerable, particularly attacked, the warrior is reminding us that we are of the light. Our light can never be dimmed. As long as we have the light, the darkness cannot really attack us. The darkness will never win, right? So just reminding ourselves that we've done this before. We are all inner warriors. We've done it in the past and we'll do it again, right? I'm going to see if there is anything else that our card is trying to tell us. It says, be fearless and stand strong. Don't back down. Make your opinions heard, right? Don't settle for second best. So the warrior embodies fierce primal love, the warrior within, the energy you can call on to protect yourself. Even if you don't think you love yourself, if you're exposed to a situation that could be harmful or dangerous, the steps you take to protect yourself are in fact acts of fierce love, right? So to me, this is also about discernment. It's about recognizing what the nature of the things coming at you are, like being able to determine and to discern between spiritual attacks and regular everyday battles. Because of the timeline that we're in right now, there is a stronger presence. The energy is more intense. A lot of things that might seem like they're of this world are actually from the other world. So this card is just reminding us to draw on our own light. If you have a situation on your hands where you have to face someone or something that's been unsettling you, know that you're being guided to call upon your inner warrior. Don't be frightened, right? Whenever you feel fear, you are on the verge of something big, perhaps a massive breakthrough, right? So this is the time of shadow work. This is the time that we're looking into our ego. We're looking into our patterns. And Spirit's just trying to remind us that no matter what, we are the warrior. So just take that moment to gather yourself and you will be okay. So how do we maintain our faith? So give us a sign. So I got the Mirror Guardian and the Earth Guardian, right? So these cards, they're both guardians, they're both ancestors, they're both angels. They're both our spirit guides, right? So maintaining our faith. Remember, the Earth Guardian is the protector of Gaia, right? It is the beyond. It transcends everything. It is a guardian. And then the Mirror Guardian, of course, is us looking within that purification process, remembering that our higher self amplifies and brings those energies into our life to kind of unlock and activate our own powers, right? So to maintain our faith, we have to continually look back within ourselves, and we need to keep in mind that Gaia has us and that our frequency is rising and that we are actually becoming aligned to those earth energies. So a friend of mine said this yesterday because I was having like a pretty down moment, and she reminded me that it was the end of Mercury retrograde, the energies were heavy, and that as a light worker, a lot of those energies purge out through me, that I am attuned to Gaia's frequency. So also just remembering to ask for help when you need it from your guides, your spirit guides, the spirit God, pray, like in those moments where you're starting to feel that anxiety like rush up inside of you. Just remember that you have to pray, you have to meditate, you have to reconnect to your higher self to feel that strength coming through, right? I'm gonna pull from my last deck, which is the Earth Warriors Oracle. So I'm gonna ask again this question: how do we maintain the frequency, and what do we need to know in order to fight the good fight, right? How do we prepare for the spiritual warfare? Okay, that jumped out, so I'm gonna hold it. So we have Diamond Tiger of the Black Moon. Second chances bring success. So look at this card. What do we see? So we know that tigers, they are fierce protectors. They are animal totems of mystery, of secret, of strength, of being able to move between worlds. They are warriors. It's interesting because I always think of a tiger being one of the only cats that actually enjoys water. Like if you've ever seen a video of a tiger swimming and it looks so happy, it's so cooled down and refreshed. So it's that adaptability. So also what jumps out to me in this card is we see that the diamond is on the third eye, right? And the moon phases are coming, like they're changing, right? So to me, this card is saying, it's reminding us of our own power of discernment, intuition, and also that we ourselves need to follow divine timing. So right now is a time of rest, is a time of purgation, of cleansing, of purification. We are preparing for battle. We are preparing for what's to come ahead, right? And so just taking that time, right, to be able to gather our resources, our internal revenue, our internal resources, and to really focus in on opening this third eye so that we can see those beyond us, right? 3 plus 7 is 1. 1 is activation. 1 is alchemy. 1 is the magician. 1 is manifestation. So just making sure that we are focused in our own ability, our own strength, our own power. So 37. Your soul is on the diamond path of spiritual growth. You may feel pressured by life at times, but at a higher level, those challenges are helping you realize your true strength of character. You have the personal will, strength, and physical power that you need for success. No matter what has happened in the past, you are developing the spirit, passion, and vitality to fight like a tigress defending her cubs. Believe in yourself. There is great dignity and strength in your heart. Do not judge anything or anyone, including yourself and what you believe is possible, based on the past. So uncovering those patterns, remembering those patterns are just manifestations, reflections of our own self, our inner thoughts, our inner world. Reclaim and redirect your energy according to what matters most to you. You are stronger than you may realize. The return of strength after a challenge, second chances for success, and a brilliant intuition or insight that ends a long-lasting cycle of repeated struggle are indicated, right? So think about this. We are regaining our strength. We are purifying. We are cleansing. A prophecy is given for empowered leadership, spiritual attainment, and success after previous failure, which leads to an irreversible and positive outcome, right? We are stepping into our power. We are stepping into our leadership roles. We are basically reading energy. We are releasing all of those things that had limited our spiritual and our leadership potential in the past. The struggle of your past was needed in order to grow. Yet now, having fulfilled their spiritual usefulness, they are no longer required, right? So release that energy. Let the flies eat it up, right? If you continue to interpret your life experiences through the filter of old beliefs and past happenings, you will lose the truth of what is taking place at a deeper level, right? You are being reformed, renewed, reborn into a stronger, clearer, truer version of yourself. The past was needed to get you here, but it is no longer to be seen as something that defines you. In astrology, the black moon refers to the unusual event of a second new moon in a month. As a sacred symbol in the language of the soul, the black moon represents either an emerging insight, which you have previously been able to glimpse but not fully grasp, or a situation that almost happened as desired but didn't quite make the full journey from wish to reality. The insight or opportunity will arise again in your psyche to either reveal or ground fully this time. second chances. Diamond wisdom is fulfillment and is absolute. With another chance, your breakthrough will be irreversible. The diamond-like in nature, unable to be changed back into the state from which it has evolved. Tiger medicine indicates a vibrant physical strength, vitality, and health. If you have been lacking in this, you are guided to turn into your cycles of rest, while shifting your mindset immediately to stop reinforcing negative self-talk. Become the alchemist. Release, negate those negative stories, or internalizing the perhaps well-meaning but unhelpful concerns of others, right? So follow your own heart. Don't let other people interpret your life for you. Don't let them say, oh, well, you're always like this, so this must be a manifestation of that, etc., etc. Those people, they love you, yes, but they are not you. So you have to reclaim your own power back, right? Take people's advice and guidance for what it's worth, but remember to follow your own seed of your eternal heart. Instead, begin to speak to yourself, right? Take the time to speak to yourself, to meditate, and others of your vitality, radiance, and power. Use your mind as your ally, consciously, intentionally, and with an understanding of its powerful effect on your body. This is not about the mind dominating and ignoring the wisdom of the body. This is about recognizing and applying mind power to nourish and infuse your being through positive psychology. Tiger medicine comes to you at a time when your engagement in the world is becoming more pronounced. Your influence is increasing, even while you may feel that you are being called into your spiritual path deeper and perhaps even more solitude for a time, right? So that false duality, right? So remember that from within manifest without, right? What we're doing inside is going to create a situation outside. So when we are the leader of our soul, if we are really tapping into our higher self, then other people will be flocking to us for that knowledge and that guidance because we are becoming the way shower. Tiger medicine evokes a sensual hunger for life and experience. When you bring your spiritual light into all of your worldly adventures, you will become able to create uplifting outcomes of grace that would otherwise not be possible. Tiger reminds us to have courage in the face of any challenge, any threat or danger, and to align with the truth of the divine as our deepest ally, our greatest advocate, and our wisest advisor. From that secure inner spiritual foundation, we can leap with ferocious compassion, conquering any adversary in order to do what needs to be done in the world. So repeat this invocation aloud after me, right? I call upon the Divine Mother's gift of tiger medicine for my body, mind, and soul. Through unconditional love, divine mercy, and ancient wisdom, I honor the empowerment of strength, vitality, courage, and truth. I invite this energy to flow within my body. Mind and soul, through divine grace, that I may be ready for the path ahead, freed from the past, with compassion and blessed in the moment, with the joy of simply being alive. Through divine love and my own free will, so be it. So call on the tiger, right? Call on tiger medicine. That is what Spirit is telling us about this purification cleansing process. So that is what I have for you today. Again, I love you. Have a lovely day. Namaste. Remember your power. Tap back in.